Hi everyone, welcome again to this English course. My name is Ahmed Sayar and welcome to my channel. Please encourage us by share, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Today we're going to go through relative pronouns. Yes, it is a course which is intended to second year bac students and also to first year bac students and to everyone who wants to know what is or what are relative pronouns. So, relative pronouns are used to combine two sentences into one, which means we have two different sentences. We want to make them one sentence. So we use a relative pronoun. So they are which, who, whom, whose, and when and where sometimes are also used as relative pronouns. So let's start with who. So who is normally used as a subject. So it's all the time it's used as a subject. It is used for people and it is used for singular or plural. Let's go to the example. Look at this example. My cousin is from Boston. He visits me every year. Now, two sentences here we have. We want to combine them into one sentence. And pay attention here. We have, again, sentence number 2. My friends are very nice. They live in London. Again, we have here two sentences. We want to combine them into one sentence. Let's go back to the first sentence here. So as you know, here we have my cousin, which is the subject of the sentence, and here again he, which refers to my cousin, is also repeated into the second sentence. Now we want to combine the two sentences into one sentence and of course delete the repetition. We're going to say my cousin who visits me every year is from Boston. So here we have used who because my cousin is the subject and he is also the subject of the second sentence. Second example. My friends are very nice. They live in London. Again, here you can see that my friends, here plural. So it is the subject of the sentence. And here again, they is also the subject of the second sentence. We want to combine the two sentences into one sentence. It's going to be my friends who live in London are very nice. And the full stop must be a comma. We move now to the next one. Which. Now, which is used for animals in general or things. It is used for subjects and objects. Example, his new house is absolutely enormous. It has no running water. Another example, I hired a car. The car broke down after 5 minutes. Now look here. So in the first sentence, we have his new house. Okay, so his new house is the subject of the sentence. Okay, and in the second sentence, we have it, the pronoun which refers to his new house, is also the subject of the second sentence. So here we have repeated subject in the first sentence and in the second sentence. When we want to combine them into one sentence, then we must delete the subject. So it's going to be his new house, which is absolutely enormous, has no running water. Or you can say his new house, which has no running water, is absolutely enormous, no difference. Second sentence here. So I hired a car. A car here is the object of the sentence. And in the second sentence, it's not the object, but it's the subject of the sentence. And here, when we want to combine the two sentences, again, we are going to use which. I hired a car which broke down after 5 minutes. Great. Here again, okay, let's go to another one. You can say the car which I hired broke down after 5 minutes. Great. Let's move now to the next example. Whose. Now, whose is used with the possessive. It is used for people, things, and animals. Example, Mary is a good student. Her father is an engineer. Second sentence, John's father is American. John never speaks English. Great. So here let's look at the first sentence. We have Mary. And the second sentence we have her. So her refers to Mary. So we have a repetition, but her is a possessive pronoun. And here, which means refers to Mary's father. So again, we have the repetition of Mary's, apostrophe S, repetition of Mary. And here we are going to use whose. Let's look at the sentence. It's going to be Mary, whose father is an engineer, is a good student. Pay attention, whose immediately after the noun which is repeated. Second sentence again, look at John's father, and here John, again repetition of John, so we are going to use here whose, and sentence is going to be John, whose father is American, never speaks English. Great, let's move on. Whom now? So whom is used for people. It is used with objects. It is used for plural and singular. And whose is also used for plural and singular. So she introduced me to Michael. I hadn't seen Michael before. Great. Another example. The witnesses gave conflicting evidence. I interviewed the witnesses. That's great. So let's look at the sentence now. So here we have Michael, the object of the sentence. She introduced me to whom? To Michael. And again here, a second sentence, I hadn't seen Michael before. Again, it's the object of this sentence. So here we have the repetition of the object. Now we are going to use the sentence as it may look here. So she introduced me to Michael, whom I hadn't seen before. Whom I hadn't seen before, because Michael is the object of this sentence. Second sentence. The witnesses gave conflicting evidence. I interviewed the witnesses. Great. So here repetition of the witnesses and the witnesses in second sentence. So the first sentence, the witnesses, is the subject of the sentence here, and the second one, it is the object. Now we're going to use the sentence and say the witnesses, or whom I interviewed, gave conflicting evidence. Great. Let's move on. When. Now, when is a time relative pronoun. It expresses a time or a temporal location. Okay, let's look at the example. The day is Sunday. The concert takes place on Sunday. Next one. The final countdown appeared in a year. The year was 1980. Let's look at the first example. Repetition of Sunday and Sunday. And the sentence is going to be the day when the concert takes place is Sunday. Number 2, repetition of the year, and the sentence is going to be the year when the final countdown appeared was 1980. Let's move on. Where. So where is a location, a relative pronoun, and it expresses a place, a physical location. The city was Paris. The boys lived in Paris. Great. Next example. The street is Broadway. The parade begins in Broadway. Great. Now, in the first sentence, we have a repetition of Paris. And here we are going to use the city where the boys lived in was Paris. The comma must be after the in here. Next one. The street is Broadway. The parade begins in Broadway. So here we have a repetition of Broadway. Great. So the sentence is going to be the street where the parade begins is Broadway. Great. Excellent job. Let's move on. Now let's move to practice. I bought a new car. It is very expensive. So here we're going to use which, because we have a repetition of a new car. I bought a new car. It is expensive. The sentence is going to be I bought a new car, which is very expensive. Next one. She lives in New York. She likes living in New York. Repetition of New York. Okay? So she lives in New York, which she likes. Okay? She lives in New York, which she likes. Okay? Next example. More examples. I'm looking for a secretary. Whom or who can use a computer well? Now, what do you think? Which one is correct? Take your time and choose one of the relative pronouns that is correct. So, who? That's great. Next example. She has a son who or whose is a doctor. Again here, what do you think? Which one is correct? That's correct. Who is correct? Very good. Let's move on. We bought a house where or which is 200 years old. Which one do you think is correct? Excellent job. It's which. Great. Let's move on. I sent a letter. Which or who arrived 3 weeks later? Which one is correct? Great. Which, because it is a thing. Very good. Let's move on again. More practice. Meg is brilliant. Her parents were born in Madrid. So let's join or combine these two sentences into one. So here, pay attention, we have her, Meg, and we have here her. It's a possessive pronoun, okay? Which means I need to use whose. Great. So the sentence is going to be like this. Meg, whose parents were born in Madrid, is brilliant. Great. Let's move on. Kathy was American. She lit the Olympic flame in Tokyo. Great. So here we have the repetition of Kathy and she. Both of them are subject of the sentences, which means I need to use who. Great. My sentence is going to be like this. Kathy, who lit the Olympic flame in Tokyo, was American. Great. Next one. Paul is a doctor. I respect Paul very much. Now pay attention here. Paul is the subject of the sentence, but here it is the object, okay? Which means I don't need to use who, but instead I'm going to use whom. Great. So the sentence is going to be like this. Paul, whom I respect very much, is a doctor. Great. Let's move on. She slept in a hotel. It was very comfortable. Great. So here we have the repetition of hotel and it. So here hotel is the subject in the second one, where it is an object in the first sentence. So I need to use here which. The sentence is going to be like this. She slept in a hotel which was comfortable. Great. Let's move on to more practice. John is my younger brother. Went to do the shopping. So which one you are going to use here? Pick one, please. Take your time. So, yes. So the one which is correct here is who. John, who is my younger brother, went to do the shopping. Great. Second sentence. His work is very difficult, exhausted him. So pick again one from all these that you have here and take your time. So the correct one is going to be which. Great. Let's move on. Tom, mother is French, speaks the language very well. Very good. Let's look now. Which one is correct? And the correct one, whose? Tom, whose mother is French, speaks the language very well. Great, excellent job. Let's move on. Mr. Smith, I was talking to, is a carpenter. So here, the one which is correct, take your time. Whom? Very good. Mr. Smith, whom I was talking to, is a carpenter. Very good, excellent. The last one. Your problem, I have thought about a lot, is a difficult one. Which one do you think is going to be correct? So, which? Very good. Your problem, which I have thought about a lot, is a difficult one. Great job. Now pay attention with whom here. Mr. Smith, whom I was talking to. Now whom is always followed by a sentence, a subject verb, okay? Whom. Let's move on. More practice. This is the place we should build our house. So what do you think? Which one is correct? Take your time. Excellent job. It's where because it refers to place. Very good. Next one. A grocer's is a shop, and again pick one. Very good. So the correct one is again where. Very good. Next one. The summer I graduated from university was long and hot. Choose one again. And one which is correct. When. Very good. Excellent job. Thank you for watching. My name is Ahmed Sayar, trying to do my best. Please, before you leave, encourage us by, again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. See you in a next video.